Hi YouTubers, create-a-liscious coming to you with another project, and I'm calling this project, what am I calling this project? That's completely gone out of my head. I am calling this project Random Acts of Kindness Project. And as you can see, hopefully, there we have some lovely dried lavender. Let me just put that there, like there, and little stands that I've made for them. And I'm going to show you how to do this beautiful project, and why I've called it Random Acts is because I'm actually going to take these to local nursing home and give them to people in the nursing home, and maybe if they don't especially have visitors, I'd like them to go to those people that don't get visitors. So I've done a whole heap of these and I just love them. They are so super adorable. So all I've done is I've taken some dried lavender, which actually this is picked yesterday, and it is a bit late because it's September, and but anyway, it was beautiful and dry and warm where we are in the UK, so I cut all the lavender yesterday, and I did actually tie it to start off with, and I'm going to show you how I started it. So I just cut a whole heap of lavender. Obviously, if you don't have lavender in your garden, then this could be a bit of a project that for someone. Obviously, it's going to be hard for you to do if you don't have lavender. So I've cut it, and then as I cut it, I then bound it with string. These are already dried naturally by the sun, so I was really lucky that I've allowed it to happen naturally, although I do have a load that weren't dried naturally. And then you cut the bottom so that you kind of make it stand up on its own anyway. And then what I did is I took some fabric squares, she grabs everything from over there, that I have in my stash. Just some nice fabric squares, and they are, I'll give you the sizes later, and basically I just covered the bottom and then made a cardboard stand for them. And then these are beautiful gifts if you want to give them away. They're great for craft fairs as well, but on this occasion I am making them for random acts of kindness, just to go and give to somebody in a nursing home or a care home. And again, you could just leave them. My art originally was to actually just hang them and have people just buy them like that with ribbon around the bottom. But then something came to me in the night that actually this is what you could do, and this is what came out of that random thinking pattern early hours of this morning. So I'm just going to get all my resources together, and then we're going to show you how to do this. Obviously, the key word of warning is if any of you have got high blood pressure, this is a great project for you. However, the warning is if you've got low blood pressure, please be careful when you're working with lavender, especially raw lavender, for long periods of time, because it does reduce blood pressure. And although I don't have blood pressure problems, I did actually notice I went quite lightheaded yesterday after I'd been cutting, a lot, and I mean a lot. I really did cut quite a lot yesterday. So when you're working with lavender, if you've got high blood pressure, it's going to be great for you. If you've got low blood pressure, please be careful of that, because again, as I say, it will actually help to reduce your blood pressure. But a great project overall. But there is a bit of a health warning with it, especially when you're working with lavender. So I'm just going to get my stuff and we're going to do this project together. Come back in a second. So what you're going to need is some a glue stick of some format. This is a 6x6 paper, so you only want paper, and this is half of the 6x6 paper pad, which is just like copy paper. A random piece of cardboard. This is a double, what do you call that? Double something or other. You call it double something. Anyway, 2 lots of ribble in the middle. That's a technical term. You're going to need some cotton or fabric, your lavender, some twine, baker's twine or other twine. You could use raffia, and a glue gun, or this is a cool glue gun. And the first thing you're going to want to do is make your little stand. Oh, sorry, and some scissors. Just a normal pair of scissors, and just make a small stand. I'm not even going to give you measurements on this, although actually that's probably, I could do that. That would help you, wouldn't it? Let me just grab my ruler. So I'm just making this stand, I don't know, 6.5 centimetres by just 6 centimetres. And I'm not measuring it because the bottom of that, across the bottom of that, is about 2.5 by 2.5, okay? And you cut the corners off of your cardboard. And again, I did think actually, but I don't have enough of them. You could do this and put them onto log pieces that you can get from the internet, but I didn't have any. So, well, I do, but I don't have enough for 40. And I didn't want to do half the projects with, I'll get my words out in a minute, wood, and half my projects on this style. So as you're just measuring up your paper to cover, you just want to cut those corners off, so you've pretty much got that. Okay, there's your paper on the other side, there's that. So we're just going to glue that down, just quickly squidge the edges, and again, this is just something that you could be thinking about. I'm sure you could come up with other ideas that you could, ways of doing this, but this is just what came to me last night, so this is what I'm doing. And we're just going to put your corners in first. Don't worry if it doesn't fully stick, because you're going to glue all over the top of this anyway. Fold your edges in. Sorry, that isn't quite square. And start again if you mess it up, like I just have, because my paper's not. So let me just cut that little bit off. Okay, so I haven't done a very good demo of that, have I really? So I'm just going to cut my one edge off because I don't have enough paper. So make sure you've got enough paper before you start to go around. But a half of an A6 6x6 sheet should actually work. So just do that. Put your edges in. Fold all your edges in. And so you're pretty much left with that on the one side, and don't worry about this on the other side, because you're going to stick over the top the other sheet again. And again, you could use any type of tapes, glues. I'm just using this has worked fine so far on this project, just a glue stick of any format. And then you're going to stick this over the top. But what I want to do with this, instead of going right to the edge, I'm just going to, where's my little scissors? I just want to cut that corner off, and I'll show you when I'm done. I just want a little bit in, okay? So you've kind of got, you just cut this to fit. Cut your corners again. So you've pretty much got a little mat on the other side. I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. I just want to cut those corners, cut that in a little bit. And again, this is, so on the other side then, what you've got is that, okay? So you're covered on both sides now, and your edges are covered. So you have a nice little kind of square with corners on, whatever you call one of those. Let me just move all of this out of the way. I'm going to sneeze. Okay, so what are we going to do with this? That's your plate that you're going to stand on. Now you're going to take your, what's this called? Material, that's the word, which is about 12.5 by 12.5, okay? And this is actually already cut with pinking shears to stop it fraying. I can't even remember where I got this. I think it might have been a fat square thing, a quart thing that you buy. I don't know what you call them. But anyway, I liked what it was. And I've got about 40 sheets of them. and I'm just going to fold it in quarters. I folded it into a quarter. I'm just going to round with my pinking shears. I'm just going to round the edge. Okay, so you folded it in 4, and then you're just going to round the edge, which means then you've got 4 rounded edges the same size. You're going to get your lavender, plonk it in the middle, pull your corners up, 4 corners, like so. Okay, turn it upside down. Whoops, that's not quite in the middle. So if you do it like this, you'll actually get the middle of the cotton, and cotton's actually best to work with because it's quite lightweight. You're going to turn it upside down and pinch. So you're going to pull it together, okay, like that. Then you're going to get your twine or whatever you're using. You could use raffia. Raffia would look great on this, but I just wanted to use twine. Or you could use string or anything, hemp, whatever you've got really, ribbon, and you're just going to twine it round. Not too tight, well you can, because you've already tied the lavender up anyway. And I'm just going to go around about 6, 8, I don't know how many times I feel like it really. And leave enough so that you can tie a bow. Okay, so you've now got that stump at the bottom, so you can glue that, hot glue gun that, to the base of your thing that you made earlier. What you want to do now is just jiggy this around a little bit, just to get it, before you start tying loads of knots in it, just to get it nice and and I'll finish that sentence off in a second. Nice and, I don't know what you want to call that, nice and even around maybe, I don't know what the word is. And just tie it in a knot and then tie a little bow. Whoopsie. And this lavender is super intoxicating, and you'll be super chillaxed if you're not already when you work this project. So if you're pretty stressed, this is a great project to work. Now, okay, so now you've got that. And actually there's probably other ways you could do this to make it really work and stand up, and you could actually put this inside a bottle top before you put the paper before you put the material on. So there you have it, and you could actually stand that up right away. Well, you wouldn't probably be able to. Yeah, you would. So you could stand that up, but just to make sure, and just to make sure, you're going to stand all of this up. Let me just move all my seeds out of the way because I keep those. Oh, and a little bug there. I just keep them all and I put them. I sow the seeds again back on the garden. So, well, I don't. I sow them into plant pots, to be honest, and then they grow again. So I've got my actual things, and I've got the seeds inside. So I'm very much a collector of stuff like that. So you can put it back on the garden. Right, now all you're going to do is take the good, not that side, this side of your, and that's not even straight, look, there we go, it's okay. You're going to take your glue gun and you're going to glue the bottom of this with quite a lot of glue. Squidge it all around. And you're going to stick that to that. Now what I've also done on some of the ones that didn't quite go as square as this on the bottom is I've added more glue around the edge and then put the loose lavender that's fell off like this here. I've put that on around the edge so that you can actually, and there you have it. One lavender kind of posy standy thing going on. So I really love it. I really think they're so cute, beautiful project. And again, you could put these on logs which would look even better than little handmade stands, but the stands are great because they do their job. And if you've got stash or paper and you've got cardboard, then you're pretty much good to go. And again, I'm doing this as a random act of kindness, but I am going to be also having some at my craft fair, and so that will help with that as well, fill the table up. And they do give off actually, even when they're fully dried, the scent from dried lavender is actually intoxicating, and it will last forever. And you can actually spread it out a little bit if you pull it. You can actually make it a little bit larger that way. But what a great project. I hope you've enjoyed it, and just remember, I believe in you, and have a great day.